All right, so let's talk about DC Fandome Boy 2021. So
Oh,
what I was doing, right?
Notes.
I actually had like I was just watching off of my laptop, right? Off of the DC
The
YouTube
website, the
channel.
actual fan.
Oh
Oh,
no
you
no
went to
I didn't
YouTube.
watch it off of Fandom. I didn't watch it off the website. Sorry, I watched it off of YouTube, right? But
right.
why I stumbled a little bit because I believe both sorry, DC Warner Brothers and HBO Max were running the same live stream at the same time, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah,
They were. I
yeah,
caught that like after because unfortunately DC fandom happened while I was on my shift, and my shift was like 8 hours, so I missed it twice. But thankfully, they had on both their YouTube and HBO and Warner Brothers, like you're saying, they had uploaded the full stream. So
yes.
I ended up watching it after the fact, which was quite nice because I got to fast
Right.
forward through a lot of the television stuff that I'm less familiar with.
Right.
Mhm.
I was only hyped over one thing, and that is Young Justice is back. That is
Yes,
like
it is. Yes, it
I was
is.
like,
And we're
and then
gonna
and they
talk
said
about those
and they say
well, the first two episodes that came out.
they say streaming now on HBO Max. Like hell yes, reach on
Yeah.
one time. I think it's episode one on HBO Max. From I understand it's only episode one, but I don't know where to see
It's
the second one.
the second one is officially there now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I kind of like
I took
I
them both.
kind of have them queued, but I didn't get a chance to check it out
Yeah,
yesterday.
I only saw episode one because I only saw that one there. But okay,
Okay,
so the
okay.
second one there,
Well,
I'll
when
just
we
check that
get
out
to the
first.
Young Justice stuff, basically we will just like a brief run through of like what the premise is. So we
Right.
don't have to go deep into season two. Sorry, episode two. But we just kind of talk about what we thought about the first episode and where we think it's gonna go from there, right? So I
Right.
will make an effort not to spoil episode two, right? Yeah. So point is, while I was running this thing on my laptop, I had my Evernote on my phone. Yes, I use Evernote, right? So I was just like
What?
taking out notes. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was recommending that from work, man, and now it's a good note,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
thing, right? But yeah, point is, I was just taking out notes one announcement at a time, right? But this is stuff that clicked to me, right? So I am pretty much going to run this down in chronological order, so you all know what's going to come last, right? So
Yep, we do.
right. Yeah. So point is, guys, y'all could kind of interject and say, "Oh, you forgot this, or you forgot about that," right? But I just wrote down what stood out to me, right? Hence
Right.
highlights. So yeah, Black Adam. We got a sneak peek, if you will.
Yeah.
That's what you can
Finally.
call it.
Mhm.
Finally,
Listen, Rock
looks
has been they've been hyping Rock as Black Adam since before the MCU has existed.
yeah.
Ah,
That's why
Which
he
I
is
mean,
keeps
really
stressing
tough.
it's a
it's kind of
passion
shocking.
project.
It's kind of
Yeah.
shocking if I'm mistaken. Like, I don't know what they're doing or if they, but anyway, we finally get something. Like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. Cause right now he's saying that he's still working in posts, he's still doing stuff. But like, as follow the
Yeah.
rock on IG because why not, right? And he was saying, yeah, everything wrapped up, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
yeah.
what we see here, I mean, it's your basic who's the hooded, character who's basically
Right.
killing people, literally whole man, like squeeze a choke a guy out, and then like lightning,
Shocking.
and literally guy
Yeah, yeah.
like
You smell,
you know
you smell what the Rock is cooking.
yeah. We smelled that. We smelled that. Yeah,
Your parents.
but it is very very effective though. What I would say though, I mean, like I say, it's effective. It doesn't show you too much though, but it's enough for you to be like, all right, now we should be scared of this guy because I think
Right.
above everything else, that's what the sneak peek does. It tells
Right.
you, yeah, you should be scared of this Black Adam character. But
Yeah.
yeah, anything else you want to weigh in? Oh, I forgot to mention too. Release date 29 July 2022.
I'm
Right.
ready.
Okay.
Right.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
My
Cool. I'm not. Sorry. Go ahead. Go
Mhm.
ahead. Yeah.
Well,
No, finish and then I'll jump in after.
Yeah, no, like for me, I there's a character that I'm not too hyped over because, like personally, I'm not a big fan of him. He's just like a good counter to Superman, and his purpose is just, oh, why does he need Shazam? Is because Superman can't beat him because Superman is vulnerable to magic. Like that, I always felt that that was his purpose, and like their stories on its own is not that interesting. But I saw like they got I forget the actor's name, but he was in Star Trek and that episode of Black Mirror. He's Carter Hall, right? Playing
Right.
playing
Oh yes,
Hawkman,
that guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
playing
guy.
Hawkman. I forget his name is Al something something. I don't
I'll
have it in front of
eventually,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, but that dude, I was like, oh, he's Hawkman. All right, cool. Like, and he looking okay in the little picture. So I was like, all right, that looking okay. So if he in it and it's him and they're doing something with that and telling its own story, then all right, fine. But to me, he should have been like a villain in like maybe another movie. Like I remember fan nerdy write up of what a DCU should be, and I had him showing up in Suicide Squad like as a villain or something like that. Like they
Okay.
accidentally released him or something like that. No, and whatever. But my point is, I felt he should have shown up earlier, as a side character in somebody else's movie, and then but he getting his own movie, and I'm really sure he could hype this. And look, I like The Rock, but he kind of getting a little oversaturated. Like, just admit that, right? Like, so
Like,
I'm not sure if that will work. I'm genuinely worried for this movie because again, the feeling this feeling like a flop. Saying
Yeah.
it now,
Well,
quoting it
I would
later,
just say one
I could
one
be
thing
dead
too.
wrong.
I do hope that he learns his lesson from both the Mummy Returns and Hercules in terms of this
Well, I just
larger than
So
life,
no, but I'm
character.
studying more the recent Rock stuff now. That I'm not sure if it did all that well. Like that movie they did with the boat thing.
Or
Jungle
Jungle Cruise,
Cruise.
yeah.
Jungle
Did
Cruise
that do well?
did financially well. They're going to get ready to do a sequel to Jungle Cruise.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
and it's
Where
But
yeah.
and again, a vibe from this. Like, and again, a vibe that is gonna like. I'm not hyped for this. I'm not sure what's going on. But look, Rock is still a big name. He could still pull the numbers. So I'm not, as I say, I want to be wrong. But I don't know, something about it's just not really gelling for me because it's one of those projects that takes so long,
Mhm.
and that's an immediate red flag for me. Like a
there's
huge red
other
flag when something take that long in terms of developmental production and where's called it developmental health, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Developmental.
That's where I get the feeling from. Like by the time it come out, it'll be like, ugh. Well, say it's gonna be like it's a Black Widow kind of vibe. Like it should have come out earlier, and it's gonna fall flat. That is my feeling, right? That's my gut feeling. Could be dead
I
wrong. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, like I know that like in answer to the like this took too long. It's also literally kind of a Black Widow situation where like because I know that what happened is the Rock has kind of been camping on, like you said, The Rock has been camping on this character since before the MCU because he was like, I really want to do this. It's kind of like the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool situation.
Right.
But
Right.
like what's been going on is DC haven't been able to make up their mind. So like the whole time DC has been doing their whole thing in the background has been Dwayne The Rock Johnson with an endless revolving door of writers and directors trying to get like some kind of pitch for like how to do this movie and like what to do whatever and then like it's a little bit there's another DC film we're going to talk about later that feels very similar where like it's been in development hell for so long that I'm surprised to see it done and I do wonder about it. For me,
Right.
I'm hyped about the Justice Society as well. Like for
Okay.
me,
So that. Yeah.
for me, if you're going to do like, because like the whole like one of Johnson's big pitches for this movie is that like Black Adam is an anti-hero and he's not like entirely a good guy, but he's not also like a villain. And so
Right.
like having like an anti-hero superhero go up against a group of like superheroes like the Justice Society is like a really cool pitch, and I'm very excited to see, especially since like some of the like teases of the costumes and set design, especially for the Justice Society, look like really appropriately like kind of golden age. Like some of like the
Right.
costumes and everything. Like
Yeah.
really, like and I always love
To me,
DC.
yeah, go ahead. No, to me, once you're doing it like Stargirl, I'm happy. Once you get that aesthetic, because Stargirl is a solid show. I don't love it. Solid show though.
Yeah,
Right?
it's good. It's good. It's
Solid
good.
look,
Yeah.
solid look,
I
solid
haven't started season 2 as yet, but I
no,
will.
solid look and aesthetic. And to me, once you have something like that, you're good. And yeah, so far I was seeing as you say, yeah, seeing that too. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But no, it's like I'm and especially I feel like that contrast is going to be like really interesting and like I'm hoping. I mean, it's one of those movies that I feel like I'm probably going to enjoy. I have no idea whether it's going to vibe with the general population though. Like that, like I'm nerdy enough with the idea of like a superhero period piece, bring in the Justice Society and magic and all this other stuff. All sounds like really, really cool. And it's the kind of thing that I love in a comic book movie. But I
Right.
have no idea whether, like as you're saying, like whether or not it's going to like land with general audiences at this point. Like it's up and I don't know if I think it's going to flop, but I definitely have no idea how it's going to go at this point, I think.
Mhm.
Same here too. Tracy, anything you want to weigh in on that Black Adam sneak peek?
Well, okay. I'm going slightly different piece here. My thing was, and I do agree with Ricardo in terms of the mummy thing. Like I have three pieces of notes here. One is the mummy reboot, and I mean
Right.
that Tom Cruise
Right.
thing where they
Oh
try
yeah,
to resurrect
with that one good
one
scene with
mummy.
In Clean, and that was it.
That was one of the first thoughts. Then when you see him ascend, when he starts to levitate, I was like, okay, if you're going to do an evil Superman movie or that kind of thing, this feels closer to that. I do agree with you. Like at the end of Shazam, because I know he's always been annoyed with the sorcerer for choosing a child. Even though for all intents and purposes, I think when Black Adam was in slavery, enslaved and all this kind of stuff, the wizard actually chose him to, you know, do stuff, and then the wizard regret his decision. But by that time, he already had all his powers. So
Right.
he's a guy who at the end of Shazam, I was like, because okay, so we got the Doctor. I was expecting it to be like some sort of unraveling takes place and it wakes up Black Adam, but he was not in that. So I said, well, okay, well, whatever happens. I actually am looking forward to this Black Adam movie, but I have to tell you, I am looking forward to putting on uh, Doctor Fate costume and going to IMAX because Doctor
Yes.
Fate for me is like Doctor Fate. When Doctor Fate for me is one of those characters. Like I have Green Lantern, I have
Yeah.
my Green
Great.
Lantern rings and all that kind of stuff, and I have this thing with Doctor Fate where Kent Nelson, even like watching him in Smallville in that costume and seeing how he was there, the helmet of Naboo.
Yeah.
I have been wanting a helmet of Naboo for years, and I remember when Sujihara was involved in in Warner Brothers and all the mess that was going on in there, and seeing Doctor Strange over at Marvel, and I said to myself, I will
Yeah.
never get a Doctor Fate movie. Lo and behold, the Justice Society is coming up. I don't know how they're going to play it in this, but lo and behold, the Justice Society shows up, and Dr. Fate is front and center, and groovy ass Pierce with his beard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Looking good.
and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yes. So for me, it's very weird. It's kind of like to CC Moore. It's like that film that we're going to talk about later that has been in development hell. There's characters around the main character who I am deeply more interested in, and so that would probably get me to go and see the movie and be more hyped for the movie. So like even here I'm interested to see what happens with Dr. Fate and how Dr. Fate interacts with it and how they deal with all of that, even though it is a Black Adam movie. And
Right.
I am a fan of Dwayne, and I'm glad to see his career being like yay, but
Yeah.
I really am here for Dr. Fate. That's my Black Adam take.
Right.
Right, right, right. As far as Flash, well, this is not going to be the last time we talk about Flash, but TV Flash. If you all remember, Ricardo and I talked about season 7 of Flash. Didn't care for it
Oof.
at all. Or sorry, I did, and yeah,
Oof.
I told you I didn't care for it at all, right? But
A
yeah,
lot of oof. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of oof, right? But yeah, apparently for the 8th season, he's finally getting the gold boots,
I
and I
could care
saw
less.
them, and I was like, well, all right, still not
Here's
gonna make me excited to watch season 8 of the show, but I mean,
I
gold boots, right?
my whole scene with that whole thing was this, and this is one of the downsides I think for like fandom and stuff, where you have to everybody has to come and show and talk to the fans and all this kind of stuff, even if they don't really have anything real to say. I for one,
Dude,
so
Grant
we
Gustin and
Grant,
Candice Patton
so,
looked
but
like they were
Candace,
forced to be there.
here's my thing,
They didn't
even
look like they wanted to be there at
Candace looked
all.
Yeah.
even
Tired.
Candace still had a little bit of pep. Here's Tiffany,
Please,
Tiffany Smith,
Candace.
who Tiffany Smith is there and she's talking, she's doing that whole host, because Tiffany does host things like that and does this whole excited host, and Grant is responding like, "Rel," and I'm looking at this and I'm
Yeah,
saying
I'm so
something is
excited. I
wrong.
can't wait for y'all to see this
I
thing.
I
Here's
I
No
have a
enthusiasm at all.
I don't know, like my friend Victoria, she has a thing up on my friend Victoria just put this thing up, hashtag free Grant, because clearly it looked like all of them. And the problem that I have is that the last three, I mean, lightning's lightsabers in the finale aside, the
Oh
last
God.
3 episodes, 3 to 4 episodes of season 7, for me was like, where was this version of the Flash?
Right.
All of season 7. I like the idea. Bring the kids back.
Right.
Bring the fact that okay, now you're setting up the idea of We know that Eobard is going to be back in some variation or the other. Bring all of that back. Where was that for the greater part? Because God, whatever that villain's name is. The point is, I needed better storytelling. So you
Yeah.
telling me that you're going to give, and I saw a lot of people hyped about it, and yay, you're giving him the gold boots. It's going to be part of the ensemble. Great, glorious. How about you give me a better story? Because
Amen to that.
I don't I don't need it. I don't need it. I
Nobody
just
cares. That's the problem. Nobody cares.
I feel like maybe they should maybe and I would not be surprised if they decide to do pull a Stephen Amell and them and just say, okay, season 8 is going to be the final season, 8 or 9 is going to be the final season of The
So
Flash. And if that is the case, then
they should
please
do that.
go out with a bang and let's be,
Yeah.
cool about it. So that was me with Grant.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know this is like exciting news for CC, Aquaman by and the Lost Kingdom. We get some
Okay.
nice
hell
behind
yeah.
the scenes footage.
Right. So
Our release date
the
this
only
time,
drama.
16 December. Sorry,
Yeah.
16 December of 2022. Yeah,
Yeah, but the only drama is Amber Heard. Oh boy.
I know, boy. I
Everybody is
know.
not feeling fucking
No,
cheery.
fast second. I thought like they replaced. So like, wait, they had a shot of her there. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it's her. It's still.
Nah, boy.
Jeez.
Pressure. I real pressure.
No, y'all know me. You know, I'm a big Aquaman fan, and I am hyped as hell for this new movie. Like,
Yeah.
and I love
Mhm.
the idea that like the first movie is great. I think it's
Yeah.
like genuinely one of
No,
the
it
best
is. It
movies
is.
of
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah,
I had a ton of fun with it.
yeah.
but I do love that like in this video, one of their pitches for the sequel is, hey, we know that the first Aquaman has maybe like some issues with the writing, although I will also argue that those issues are not as big as the internet press to pretend they are. But like we acknowledge that there's some issues, and so that's the thing we're like, in addition to all the fun and the action, that's the thing we're gonna step up is the story and the storytelling and like, but like that stuff. And like I didn't really have a problem with the story in the first film,
Right.
so I had no so like but like so improving on something that I already thought was fine is like, good news for me. And a lot of the production stuff and the costumes and stuff they hinted at all look great. And then there's Amber Heard.
Yeah,
Like I
Yep. The black sheep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hot minute.
it's
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
so difficult. And
It's a very bad look.
I'm sitting here like, especially since like they did recast Johnny Depp in the third Harry Potter, but they're not recasting Amber Heard for Aquaman 2. And I'm like,
Yeah.
guys,
It rough. It real rough. It real
you
rough.
don't
Here's the worst part too. Like, look, I tend to look. I'm in my morality. I'd like to think I'm more of a deontologist over utility, right? So like, it's not like Amber Heard is some big amazing actress that held the whole thing together, and then we find out that she's actually like she was by far the weakest part of the first film. Like let us say that they totally replaced and she had no drama behind her. I still want to miss
Mhm.
her. Like I still want to miss her. It's kind of ridiculous that she's still on. Like
Hey guys, you
it's
know
kind
what
of
I?
like yeah. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
finish your
Tracy.
thought. That's fine.
Yeah, no, I was like, seriously, like the one little she was barely hanging on a thread as an actress. She was by far the weakest part of that film. So it's like, why is she still here? Like, what going on?
Well,
Uh,
Ricardo, you didn't like her eating flowers in Italy. You didn't
Oh God.
find that to be
uh, she she
deep.
she had she had a dress a jellyfish thread. It was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. That
Yeah,
actually happened. Huh?
that
That actually
happened.
happened.
Here's a fun thing. This afternoon self, I was scanning some random things and I watched the epilogue of Zack Snyder's Justice League
oh
and
god.
seeing
Which is
Mira
currently CC's pick for favorite movie
of
of
the year.
2021. Yeah,
Well done.
yeah.
Uh,
Five.
and just hearing her with that full British accent, let the
Yeah,
bastard
terrible.
come. It's like, no, no, no. I'm so glad that when they decided to do, things, they just let her speak naturally. I saw somebody, I think it was Emilia Clarke, somebody had fan casted and just dyed her hair red, or somebody else. And I was like, anybody, anybody.
Anybody.
But
No,
again,
like
I feel
I'll go as far as probably just writing out the material. Like, look, it's a decent character, but you can write out too because like she kind of was just a side character and kind of redundant, frankly. Like, to be
well,
honest, like, but whatever, it's like Volko was done there, so it's like, all right, either write out her or Volko or one of them now. But nah,
yeah.
man.
I don't
It's really ridiculous. Like it's a real problem and it's a seriously bad look.
right. Well, for me, from a PR standpoint, this is the thing I think is the most egregious. Again, I go back to the fact that they recast Johnny Depp in Crimes of Grindelwald, and here's the thing: from a PR standpoint, that is horrendous for Warner Brothers because it looks like they're taking sides.
Right.
It looks like they're taking sides in an ongoing like court case,
Right.
and that is a horrendous look because like
Yeah.
the last like taking like if you're going to do that, either I mean
Be
if you're gonna,
consistent.
either keep both of them
Right.
or recast both of them, but
Right.
don't
Right.
take sides,
Yeah.
especially not when it actually looks like certain
Yeah.
parties like
Yeah, no, it's a bad look.
yeah, it's a bad look. But like aside from and it is the black sheep, and that's the sad thing is and the thing is, as hyped as I am for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, which is also a boss ass title, by the way, but
Right.
like as much as I'm hyped for it, the problem is I keep seeing this come up as black sheep. It's the thing people can't. As much as people want to be hyped for the next Aquaman, this is something that keeps coming back in the discussion again and
Yeah.
again. And I think like unless they do something or if they address something, this has the potential to bite the movie. And I want there to be more Aquaman films. Like I want there to be more Aquaman films. And I don't want them to have to do like a again Harry Potter situation where they do decide to recast, but they do it after the second film has already done horrendously. Like that's the thing I'm worried about at this point. And I want to be excited for it and I want people to talk about it, but the feel is we can't talk about it because whenever we talk about it, this comes up.
Yeah.
But I have a query, and it goes back to something I think we were talking about in the last session, the hypocrisy of fandom. Because we know that Amber is a problem. But let's say next year, life can go back to some measure of normalcy and SDCC happens and they decide to have a panel. It's going to be Jason's going to walk off on stage and everybody's going to scream. And then Amber's going to walk off on stage and everybody's going to scream. And nobody's going to stand up there and say, what the hell is you people doing? Nobody's going to say that.
Yes, the thing. A lot of people that kind of was not really feeling Johnny when everybody thought Johnny was at the bad end of this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people wasn't feeling Johnny when he showed up for the panel for the second the second one.
Yeah.
I think it was the second one. That was it had a panel that was being hyped. And people was like kind of quiet. So I don't know. I feel people will turn on Amber personally. Like if she show up on stage,
yeah,
they will tear she ass apart. They will boo her hard. They go and look
I
bad.
would be so surprised.
And that shit will be on Twitter. I don't know.
I would be surprised, but I just like I feel that is the problem because we talk about it in circles, we talk about it on Twitter, we talk about it, and we will continue to talk about it. But then when you get into Hall H, I don't know, like everybody, the scent of Hall H is just make everybody's mind go nuts or something, the perspiration or whatever, and everybody's screaming. I feel like it's in those moments that you really need to stand up as a united fandom and say this is not right. Do something about it.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Anyway, we could move on from Aquaman. Whatever.
And now we're back to fandom.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, but we'll see how things play out come the 16th of December next year, right? We got first game trailer, I should say, for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Very excited for this, yeah.
Dope trailer, really dug it. I wish we got a little bit more gameplay in it, like game footage in it. But other than that, just loving the premise. I just excited as hell to see it come out, right? I don't know if you have anything else to say about it, Ricardo.
Yeah, no. I since the first trailer and I found out what the premise is, I was like, all right, this is looking pretty damn awesome. Like, I really want to see how they're gonna make sense of it or play it out. Given that it look, I like the Suicide Squad, but it's a little ridiculous how they could survive some of these scenarios and survive. And going up against Brainiac and the Justice League, how? Like, I want to see how they survive with that bullshit. But it's a great premise and concept. Like, I really, really want to see like if they're really the last resort. They get McGill to play Amanda Waller, where country from Mad TV. Deborah Wilson, I think it's her.
Oh, serious? That's her?
It looks like her. Yep, it is her.
Okay.
Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Amanda Waller.
Nice.
Yes, so I'm correct. Diamond Gill, great. She is representing something that is incredibly controversial amongst the DC fandom. Tin Waller. A lot of people hate Tin Waller for some reason. Every time you bring up Tin Waller, you do Tin Waller as not being, big. People hate that for some reason.
And
I would hate
then
it.
there was a Tin Waller in the Arrow series.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe
Yeah,
so.
There was
they
Yeah.
had the Tin Waller. They had the Tin Waller in what do you call it, in the Green Lantern movie. People didn't care for it. That was Angela Bassett.
Uh,
One of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second, I think Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. It had a Tin Waller. Although they give a reason why she didn't. But a lot of people hate Tin Waller, boy. Like it's shocking that the real fans hate Tin Waller.
Look,
Anyway, this
it's called
I don't mind. I like
adaptation,
Deborah
people.
Wilson.
Adaptation, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't mind. But yeah, Deborah Wilson's a great actress. She was great in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Loved her in that. So she's a solid like voice actress and what do you call it, mocap actress now. Right, great. So I'm glad she's in this. I really want to see what they're gonna do with it. I'm really excited for this. I have a hope of what they're doing is it's a 4-player co-op game. If they're doing a 4-player co-op game, boy, that gonna be hype. That gonna be real hype because
Yeah.
another DC game coming up that also seems to hopefully be 4-player co-op.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a bit, right?
So yeah.
Right. We also had a Peacemaker panel. So John Cena,
Right.
McGill, oh gosh, Daniel Brooks, I believe James Gunn was there as well too,
Yeah.
or at least some executive producer was there. I think it was, yeah.
Yes, and
And
another one of
apparently,
them.
yeah, apparently we getting Adrian Chase, aka Vigilante, in it, right? And
Right,
just
right.
what you thought. Sorry, that it was just all about. This is what we're gonna get in the show. We
Well,
actually get
okay,
a dope
so
little teaser trailer, man.
this vigilante is totally different than the one I'm accustomed to because the one I'm accustomed to is basically the cowboy, but he's not anything like the cowboy at all, which is kind of
Yeah.
shocking. They
This
doing
one looks closer to like what we saw in Arrow.
right,
The
right,
vigilante in
yeah,
Arrow.
yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Pretty much. I was like, wow, they're
Yeah,
doing this.
who by the way was one of my favorite villains in Arrow, period, right?
Yeah.
Especially that season 5 finale. Oh my god, right? But anyway, so as for the teaser itself, the teaser was solid. I have no issues with it, no complaints with it though. I love the sort of realistic tone to it. I like the idea that we exploring the character of Peacemaker. We seeing, oh well, the reason why he is who he is there because he's supposed to be
Right.
this stone cold killer, but it's like, no, not really. Like there's a moment where he sees his dad and all that kind of stuff. So that was really cool. So
his dad.
I like the pseudo realistic vibe that they're going for.
Right.
Yeah. It reminds me a lot for longtime gun fans. It reminds me of Super, but like
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Right.
Yes, it has
Right.
a very super feel
like-
to it. Yeah.
it feels like Super, but he actually got to use like licensed characters instead of having to like invent like his own character. I also Robert Patrick as his dad is going to be genius. I'm already
Of
like
course,
like
of course.
the one clip in the trailer where like he goes to visit his dad and his dad is sitting there across the table from like this huge muscular red, white, and blue man and just like, how did my sperm end up creating a fancy like, and I'm like, oh my,
Yeah.
no
I
one
hate him already.
I know. No, he's
Yeah, I really want to see. I really want to see what they're gonna do with it. John Cena is a surprising comedy, highlight. Like
Yeah.
Yes,
I didn't
yes,
expect
yes.
him to
And
be
he
like,
he's capitalizing on that very, very well, though, I
yeah,
must
they're
say.
doing a good job with it. I want to see what they're gonna do with the character and if they're gonna make it interesting. DC has been doing a good job with a lot of this stuff, especially with the, for lack of a better term, basically the social justice stuff. Addressing a lot of issues in terms of gender and race, but like with his character especially and what he represents, it's like, all right, I could kind of see where they might be going with it. Like it's a kind of company parallel to something like how they reinvent Harley Quinn, for example, right? It's a good reframing of the character, good evolution of the character. Once you keep it in that space, it'll work for modern audiences, and it's smart, mature writing. Once you do it right. So yeah, I'm really excited for what they're going for with this.
I'll tell you something completely random though, but in that trailer, if you were to take just the clip of him dancing in his briefs, slow that down and put the Joker violin on it,
Right. Yeah.
Oh god.
perfection. I just say it.
Well,
It
Tracy,
works well.
that's your job. You need to do that. You need to get on board. You need to do that. Right. Also, just getting back to the Flash now. Now we gotta get to movie Flash. So
Right.
Ezra Miller came up and he was like, "Well, we don't really have any footage. We
I didn't
don't
need
really
to
have
see
a
Ezra,
trailer."
to be honest.
I didn't need to see him neither. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Right.
he gave us a sneak peek, which technically is a teaser. I don't know why they keep calling this thing sneak peek, right? But for what I saw, I'll just say this one time: love the costume. It was hyping it up
Yeah,
from
I
but
feeling
seeing
it.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love
So
the design of it, the sort of neon-ish kind of glow. Well, it's actually supposed to look like lightning, but the way how it glows on his costume looks fantastic, in my opinion. Um, and then you see two other like versions of the Flash. As all you'll say, maybe y'all could fill me in on who they are. But of
One
course,
one
they
is
sell us.
One is
Oh,
another Barry and one is Supergirl.
Well, right.
Yeah.
It's not not
right.
two other versions of the Flash. Yeah, one is another Barry, the other Supergirl, and the one Barry looks kind of
Oh, okay,
sketchy.
my bad.
Yeah.
Right.
That other Barry looking real sketchy because he notice it's a Batman outfit. He just spray paint, like just
Mhm.
straight up. Like
Yeah.
what?
Mhm.
What going on there? But yeah,
Yeah, and then well, before I
yeah,
forget,
go
and
ahead.
speaking of that though, just seeing Batman, just that image of Batman, right? And I know people went crazy over it.
I did.
I did for a bit, but I still like I just want to get like the full, like just a proper synopsis as to okay, this is what they're gonna touch on because yeah, we get the typical Flashpoint paradox stuff, but it's just how are they going to include Batman and make it work? That's what I'm really concerned about. But other than
But
that,
Batman, huh? Because
yeah,
Affleck coming back as well. So
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, but other than that, though, yeah, I'm impressed. But they have to sing in production for like how long now? That's what I'm wondering.
Right.
That's the thing.
Talking
But yeah,
talking talking about DC films that have been in development hell so long, you were surprised that they were actually getting made. Like I know so many people, like casual movie people, who have like been hearing about news about the Flash so long that even when they were like up until they were like actually rolling cameras, they were like, "Oh yeah, okay, another Flash announcement, whatever." It's like, no, 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 they're actually filming it this time, I swear. Like it's like, but like for me, I'm a little on the fence about this for two reasons. I mean, there's a lot of things I am excited about, like Michael Keaton's back as Batman. Hell yeah.
Right.
Andy Muschietti as the director, also on board.
mhm.
Um, and then the writer, same writer, Christina Hodgson. Also love her work. Bumblebee, Birds of Prey. She's great. But here's my thing. The teaser, I don't know what it is about the general look, but there's something about the aesthetics. I mean, I'm hoping that they'll have more like flash, a little more pizzazz, and maybe this was coming after looking at like the teasers for like Aquaman and Peacemaker, that like something about the visuals of this don't exactly wow me just yet.
Right.
I feel like having Flash's very first solo film be a Flashpoint movie
Yes. Yes. Big red flag.
feel
Yes.
yeah, I'm not feeling that one at all. Like if you start with time travel, what is the plot for Flash 2 going to be? Like how are you going to like, unless you build this as like a franchise where every single installment he's like time traveling, where do you go from there with a second installment? You're already at time travel, right?
Yeah.
But like so like I think of all the movie projects, this is the one I'm the most mixed on. And I'm including things like Batgirl and Blue Beetle that like we've only seen teases of, and I mean real teases. But like this is the one I'm the most mixed on because like it's had a very troubled production. I'm not wowed by the visuals just yet, and then like I've never been a fan of doing Flashpoint. Like I don't think that doing Flashpoint. There are so many other Flash stories. There's so many other Flash
Yeah.
villains.
Exactly.
Flash starting with Flashpoint is like starting Green Lantern with Blackest Night. It's running before you can walk, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's been there, done that. You know.
No, yeah, I thought it was an incredible red flag when people start, shouting Flashpoint immediately. Like, really, we need Flashpoint? Like because when Batman v Superman showed up, like that sequence, and is by far the worst part of the movie for me personally. The whole nightmare sequence, and then Flash comes back to the past. Like, really, you're doing fucking
Oh
time
yeah,
travel
I
at this point?
hate that. I
And it's
here
hated
so
that.
comes
incoherent.
so
It's so incredibly incoherent. No, the way how they did it. So I was like, why, Judd? And yeah, I have a big red flag with this whole Flashpoint nonsense, Judd, because like I hear they have some ideas for it that they could be doing, like technically both Joss Whedon's version of Justice League and Snyder's version of Justice League is both quote unquote canon in terms of the timeline, so they might be playing with that maybe. But I'm not excited, and I really want to see what they're doing with it. Look, they changed a bunch of people. The one person I had hype for it, I forget his name, but this black director,
Ricardo
um, Fukuyama,
Fukuyama.
right? Yeah, yeah, Fukuyama, right? He was on board, and then when he dropped out, I was like, all right, I was way less excited, and I don't even know who doing it now. Um, so
yeah.
I don't know, and that's not because it changed too much. I'm not hyped, and then Flashpoint is a big red flag, but it has some cool looking things. I kind of excited for Michael Keaton, kind of. The outfit looks cool. I don't know. We'll see. If they have a good script,
Yeah.
great, fine, and I'll enjoy it. So it's fine.
I'm
Yeah.
Christina Hodgson. I feel like for the Christina Hodgson on board gives the writing a very good chance. Like that's the thing I'm the most, because again, Bumblebee and Birds of Prey are both some of the best written blockbusters in recent memory for me. Like both of those are like really solid from like a script perspective in particular. And so I feel like at the very least, I mean, unless of course it's a situation where she walked into the writer's room and they gave her like a pile of things that needed to be in the script, in which case we've got problems. But like I'm not concerned about the writing, but I'll agree. Like and the revolving door of directors has been there's if anyone here watches Super Void Cinema on YouTube, they cover troubled productions or films that didn't get made, and they have a whole episode that's like over an hour on all of the different false starts for Flash, and the last 25 minutes are just this particular film. Because like, so many, like everyone from like Rick Famuyiwa, they had the director for Back to the Future, Robert Zemeckis involved.
I remember that.
Right.
Chris Miller, Grant Morrison was writing a script at one point. Like this has been a messy process, and I'm hoping the final film is more of a Scanners and less of an Alien 3, but I have no clue where we're going from here. We're kind of in free fall.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's my thing. Two things. One, what I've noticed that a lot of well, not I shouldn't say a lot of directors, but what I've noticed from directors when they are talking about their superhero film, they will say, we've touched on, but we're going to take a different spin on it. So you're going to, if you end up seeing like a Flashpoint, they might say we've pulled a story from it, but it's not the Flashpoint which gives them like, I don't know, like one drop of well, we're doing it our own way or something along that, some kind of BS along those lines. The idea of seeing Barry's doppelgangers in it, I saw somebody was saying that it would be kind of interesting if they decided to do Reverse Flash as one of the evil Barrys, the same way how Savitar is really evil Barry.
Right.
So the other thing for me was the other two things very quickly for me was one, I was one of those people who went nuts when I heard "Tell Me Something," and I realized it was Michael Keaton's voice. It was like, Dad is back in the building. We have Batman. I'm really thrilled about this. I imagine that if this is the Tim Burton world that they've gone to, that maybe there is a picture in the cave of Justice League with Christopher Reeves and Linda Carter and all of them just sitting on there, because that's the era. Fine. But then it was this morning, I'm still very excited about the idea of it. But it was this morning I was sitting around thinking, I'm excited to see Michael Keaton. I should not be excited to see I should be excited to see Michael Keaton. But this is a Flash movie. So the fact that I am thoroughly, it's like how I feel about like Dr. Fate. I am excited to see what Dr. Fate looks like realized, even though I will be going to a Black Adam movie to see Dwayne as Black Adam. So I'm going to see Ezra as the Flash finally in his own film, without slow motion hot dogs all over the place. But I'm thoroughly more excited for Michael, and I'm wondering in my brain if that is if that is a bad thing. Yes, Michael has pedigree, so yes, you want to show footage that starts off the idea of Michael, but this is not Batman Beyond. This is not any variation of that. This is supposed to be a Flash film. So that part has me a little worried. I will say, it is kind of interesting because I was one of those people that really and truly was like, Flash was out of my brain. I was looking to see Wonder Woman, what they do next, and I heard that they were going to do an Amazon spinoff, and I was here for Batgirl and all this kind of thing. So when they came and said, oh, there is actually a Flash, it is in production, things are actually happening, I was like, oh, okay, we're off the ground. And then Fandom comes along and we have this. But that's my only real worry at this time.
Well, I will second that, because I mean we have a running thing on this show, in fact, that when DC is nervous, they send in Batman. And they've sent in not one but two Batman in this particular movie. Right? Like we talked about
Right.
as early as our review of Suicide Squad and
Yep.
talking about the Suicide Squad anime and the Justice League Dark animated film and everything, DC, when they're nervous, sends in Batman. I
Right.
don't know if it's a good sign. As much as I love, listen, I could watch Michael Keaton's Batman recite the alphabet and I would be happy. So
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
I'm going to see this movie. But here's the thing: if DC, when they're nervous, sends in Batman, what does it mean that we have two Batman in this film?
And they
Yeah.
say that he's supposed to be, it's Batman who's the one who creates his suit. So I'm wondering, because at first I thought it was that lightning suit, but then if we have a Flash variant that is basically take Bruce's suit and spray paint it over it, then I don't know what to make of it. I mean, is he doing a Tony Stark kind of thing and helping, with the spider, the ultimate spider, the mechanical spider suit, or what the hell? What's the deal? I just know it's Michael.
Or they're not confident in the Flash as a solo character, and so they're kind of turn him into like a Batman, or like this particular one is like a Batman spin-off type character, which is not a great sign. There's a lack of confidence in the property if that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's two things about my boy, Superman, right? So for one thing, there was a 20th anniversary panel, involving
Smallville.
both the actors who played, Clark and Lex. Glad seeing them. Glad seeing old man Lex and old man Clark. That was really cool. Of course, a certain someone can show up. I wonder why, right?
This
Right, and then also the official changing of his motto, right? So it's gonna be truth,
Well,
justice, and a better tomorrow, right? Which
all right. So
is
that's
you
that's
know
that's kind of like hype because that change happened a hot minute ago, like a long time ago. So I don't know. So why is that news now?
I
Like
know,
no
because
one,
right?
I feel like,
no
no,
one knew
here's the
that
thing
change
for
was.
me. I was one of those people who was like the official, because this is official. We know for a long time now, Clark has been about saving the world and making the entire planet better. So it's not really have been truth, justice, and the American way for a long time. But the fact that they have, especially Jim comes out and says, this is the official mission statement for all to see. And lo and behold, within like about half an hour later, you started seeing the tweets online about
Yeah.
what does it mean to be America and all that kind of bullshit. And I was like, okay, the fact that they've officially come out and said, I was like, no, give me more Superman properties. Give me more of that. Because if you're saying that it's for a better, if you are officially saying that it's for a better tomorrow, I want to see infinite variations of that. John and John Kent's scene on one side, and then give me multiple variations of what this better tomorrow looks like. Show me
Right.
an actual living Val Zod and show me what that would how it would play in.
Really?
Show me, I don't know, Clark doing something that doesn't involve just punching everybody out. Show me more Superman and Lois, that version of Clark. So I was happy with it. I was glad with it.
For me, I was
Yeah.
interested that it's interest for me. I mean, and I know that obviously it's fandom; they can't show everything, and like they didn't talk about the Black Canary solo film either. But I was very curious why at no point during the Superman panel did they bring in Ta-Nehisi Coates to talk about the Black Superman movie he's writing
Right.
that is apparently nearly
Okay.
done, but they haven't talked. They were not, but they didn't bring that. I was intrigued. That's one of those omissions that I was a little kind of intrigued about. Like I was like,
Right. What's going on here?
yeah,
Here's the thing though. Like I said it before. Again. I don't know if this is gonna happen, but hear me or quote me later. Watch Marvel eat DC lunch on their Black Superman thing with Marvels. Just watch.
Well, I
Again,
remember you
we
said
get,
that before. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I remember.
we might be getting the blue Marvels. I'm sure. I get the feeling. Whatever. Um, just gut feelings, right? They'll be wrong. Don't worry.
Mm.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. As I say with all of this, the Superman stuff on the news, and then Jonathan is bisexual, which is good news, but also feels like just kind of clickbaity because it's not that interesting of a development to me personally. Like, okay, great, I like decades ahead of this,
Dude,
in my
I thought I
opinion.
was the only one who felt like that, and I was just
Yeah,
like,
it was
okay,
just
well,
like
that's a
it's good
thing. All right.
news, but it's not that
Yeah.
interesting. Like, still give out a story or do something with that instead of just announcing it. It's something
Yeah.
that's so late to announce. I just feel like they just time it with coming out day. So
Mm.
well, uh,
And because I honestly don't even like read, Superboy books anyway, so it's just like, well,
right. No,
okay,
like
I guess that's a
that
reason
new
for me to
Superman is
read
a
it. No, not
that
really.
new Superman's a solid character I've been following for a hot minute. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, you need to do more than just tell me this now. Like, this is just
Yeah.
Right.
face value, not you're not doing anything with it kind of stuff now. Whatever.
I
Yeah.
think Clark is off world right now. Clark is off world right
Right.
now, dealing
Yeah.
with something on War World, and so John has stepped into
No,
his mantle, and yeah,
I'm fine with all of that. But what I'm saying is that if you're announcing a character to be bisexual, please do more than just announce that he's bisexual. Like,
right,
I really want to see
yeah,
a story with that and do something with it. I'm so tired of this because it really come across as empty now at a certain point. Like, it's fine announcing it, and you get all the quick bait and everybody yelling and typing in all caps on Twitter, but
oh
at the
my
same
god,
time,
And of course, and of
you have to
and of
do something with that ultimately. And
and
I'm
of, and of
really annoyed that we're not getting a lot of that. Like, let us be clear. I'm gonna say it. We really haven't gotten any strong black woman stories like ever, in my opinion. Think
mm,
about it. I am so underwhelmed with Black Batwoman. Run now. It's like, oh well, all I know about is that she's a lesbian. You need to do more
Yeah,
than
and
that.
that's
Sorry.
it, right?
And
Yeah.
that is it. Like,
and then
seriously.
there's the Bad
Yeah.
Blood animated movie, but I mean, she
Which is
wasn't really the,
terrible.
Yeah,
yeah,
oh
it
god.
wasn't the
Which I
thing.
hated.
Yeah.
And
although I,
they made her look so incompetent in that.
although I will say, despite everything, it's good to know that no matter how we feel about new Superman announcements, you can always rely on a certain former Superman actor to weigh in and make an ass. Like
What?
every time,
Oh my god! What is?
DK being trash.
every
I,
time.
Yeah, every time.
the thing that annoys me about him is, and I will put my hands up and say I am sorry. I I don't know if I want to blame it on the music. I want to blame it on Terry Hatcher, but I used to run and make sure that on Friday nights
Yeah,
I am watching Buffy
I was
and
a
I'm
huge fan of
watching
that show.
Lois and Clark. And
Yeah,
the
it was
thing
a
that
great show.
I got over certain things. I remember thinking he makes a really good Clark, and you see
Yeah,
the pearl and the glasses and everything like that.
yeah,
But when he's slick back in that
yeah, it looked like Superman.
uniform, it's like, what the
Like,
hell? But
I,
okay, he moved on, and then they brought him into Supergirl as like Supergirl's stepfather, adopted
right,
father, and that kind of
right.
stuff.
And then he
And,
did.
and I thought, okay,
You're
fine,
right
but
about.
then what
No,
is up with
yeah,
this man?
here's what's shocking about that show. Supergirl, like, okay, I don't love Supergirl, but I like it enough, and I have my own issues with it. To me, I find it a little too white feminism, but whatever, it's still pretty good, still very progressive. It's quite done. It's
Right,
kind of
right.
shocking that you have both him and Kevin Sorbo in it. How?
What?
How was they cast? How were they cast?
Wait, stop.
Yeah,
What?
Kevin was in
Kevin
season
Sorbo was on
five
Yeah,
or four.
Kevin Sorbo was playing
He,
Monel's dad.
yeah,
what?
and he and
Yes,
Terry
yes, yes,
Hatcher.
yes. I got
Yeah,
Terry Hatcher was
on
Jersey Queen.
Barry, before I forget, there was a nice little sorry, basically it's like a comment, like a little
Send off.
final season send off
Yeah.
tributing. They could have brought a little Kevin Sorbo just to remind people.
Mm.
But yeah, on God, Kevin Sorbo was on Supergirl. He
yeah.
He
was.
and
I
Terry
don't know
Hatcher. Terry
how he
played.
get
Yeah.
casted. He was
How?
well established as a conservative before that. Like,
Oh,
he done do the God is not dead movies already. Remember that the first one, I think, where he was this ridiculous professor, atheist professor. It was nonsense. Like,
yeah.
how
God's not dead.
how did he get casted? Whatever. Yes.
See,
Anyway,
it's only the only way they could make it worse is if they brought on like Gina Carano or
yeah,
James.
you're free, like.
Like,
No. Hold on,
Although,
hold on.
although I
Yeah.
believe that Gino Corrado should have played, like, somebody like Gino Corrado should have played the villain in season 3. Who was what's her name? The black Supergirl. What's her name by
Oh
Zod-like
God.
character?
Yeah, I know
It's
who you're talking
right.
about. She
Why
had
I
the
hated
Kryptonian
her, by the
heritage
way.
inside.
No,
Right.
I thought she's a cool character, like, but they should have gotten a different, like, actress now for it now. Whatever. Moving on. Next, taking too much time on this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Moving on, right? Second game trailer by Gotham Knights. And
yeah.
I won't lie though, this trailer got me by because as someone who is still not that familiar with the quarter owls. Like,
Right.
like for me, like I didn't read the comics when they were introducing the comics. And around the time when they were introduced in Gotham, that's when I stopped watching. Not because the show was bad, not saying the show was bad. It's just things just came up and priorities now. But yeah, there's a lot of emphasis on the quarter owls though, and I'm just loving what I'm seeing here. Just how they make them feel like this big threat. And I mean they are a big threat, right? But yeah, this game have me really, really excited here. So Ricardo, thoughts on this Gotham Knights trailer, man?
Yeah, so I am not the biggest fan of quarter owls. I find it as kind of mystery boxes, and then when it's actually like the actual reveal, when push come to shove, they kind of fall a little fast as villains. But in premise and principle, they could be kind of interesting, maybe. Sometimes. But in this, it looks okay for the simple reason we don't have any Bruce. Like they have to do all of this without Bruce. I love that. And I'm very hyped for if it's a co-op game. Like if this game is a 2-player or 3-player co-op game with the same Arkham combat stuff, I all on board for that shit. You pick, Batgirl or Red Hood or one of them, and you have all the Robins and Batgirls and whoever it is to come together. I hyped, bringing Batwoman, bringing all the Bat family. How much Bat family you have in total? Like about, I don't know, 8 in total. Like get Luke
I
Fox
was
or
thinking
whoever.
6, but you might be right. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, like Luke Fox, or you could get like just bringing Luke Fox as a DLC. I am so hyped for that. If it 3-player co-op, perfect. Okay, so no secret, I'm a huge fan of Neo. Neo has the best 3-player co-op. It's so much fun. Do that. 3-player fighting co-op. That is fun. Batman kicking some Joker butt, some whatever.
Right.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah,
Easy
yeah.
sell. I will buy it pre-order day one on Steam or wherever it is you sell it. I really hope they do that. That is all I want from this. I really hope they do that. Not 2-player co-op, 3-player co-op minimum. Right? Do that and it will sell. And just make the moves cool, make the moves different so it feels different to play with Nightwing versus Red Hood versus Batwoman versus Batgirl versus all the Robins, right? How many Robins it have? Right? 3 different Robins. Red Wing or whoever it is, right?
Yeah.
Red Robin, sorry. Do that and are good. That is all they need to do. Arkham Asylum already has an amazing moveset and it's a fun damn game, but it needed solid co-op. If they're doing Arkham Asylum style co-op, the Arkham game style co-op, I am happy. Give me that. Kind of don't really care about the story because, as I said before, the quarter owl's kind of boring and nobody give a shit about stories in co-op anyway. Moving on. That's how I feel about it.
Right, right. So just move a little quick here. You know what I mean? There's still a few more things to talk about. Catwoman Hunted, this new trailer for this animated movie. I think it's the first one to come out in 2022. The first one to be released in 2022,
February.
February the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. Looks good. It's just I didn't expect it to be anime though. Like it's blatantly like in your face anime.
I'm
Like,
down
all
with it
right,
being that kind of early
okay.
early 2000s, 90s kind of anime feel.
Anime. I
I'm
know,
kind of
right? Yes, I was picking up on
I
that.
love
You
it.
know, I remember Totally Spies. It
vaguely,
have
but
a
yeah.
sort of Totally Spies. Like okay, like it looks like anime, but you could tell is another studio that do it. So it's a
That put it together.
non-Japanese studio that do it to make it look like anime. So that's why the eyes have a kind of way, have a sort of look, and the mouth, the movements. So it doesn't feel like traditional. I mean, like say Batman, Ninja, whatever it is. It feels
Mhm.
like no, some studio is trying to I don't want to say copy in the worst way, but it's trying to imitate anime, and that's how it looks the way it does. But I dig in the voice acting. Story is kind of but it looked promising. It looked like it would be fun, right?
It's like a fun,
Um,
yeah, it's like a lot of fun. Of all the projects in fandom that I'm as excited for, that was one that I hadn't heard of before fandom, and they revealed it, and it's like celebrating her anniversary. It's finally getting her own solo film, and then like the trailer is like, oh, this is quite charming. Like it has like,
Yeah.
it's talking about anime. It's got that like Castle of Cagliostro kind of like, not in the style, but in like the
Right.
plot. Like it's a fun heist
mhm.
action type. I don't know,
Right.
like, okay, yeah, I can vibe with this. This looks like
Mhm.
looks
Yeah,
fun.
because the thing is, once you hear heist and anime, you think, Lupin the Third, right? That's
Right.
it. So, like Catwoman, but it's Lupin the Third. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Again, it's no secret. I'm a huge fan of Lupin the Third, so I'm on board. I'm on board. Like, you sold me. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Also, we had a little panel talking about Batgirl, right? Live action feature, right? To
Mhm.
get McGill, Leslie Grace
Leslie
from
Grace.
Any
Right.
Heights to play her, right? And apparently she's gonna have red hair in this. So like, okay, cool. I mean, I love her hair the way it looks now. But all right, if they're gonna have a rock red hair, cool, no problem. But yeah, it was just her talking, and sorry, that's the directors and producer thing talking, and Leslie was just fangirling all over it. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah, and
Speaking of which, what?
Christine Hodgson, who's also writing this, was the other person on that panel. Like it was
Ah,
her,
yes, yes, yes.
and then I had a question about that because like I haven't seen Bad Boys for Life, but it's the same directing team. What
Okay,
is
Yes,
it?
right,
I
right,
picked up
okay.
on them. Yeah. I enjoyed Bad Boys for Life too.
Oh,
Right.
And what they brought to the table in terms of okay, we have to take a Michael Bay property but modernize it and make it our own. So they did a great job with that, man. Yeah.
Okay, I was curious.
Right.
My
Then we. Sorry. What?
No, I was just going to say the only thing, and because I was saving it for a specific time, the only problem I have with Batgirl and by extension Blue Beetle is for all the talk that my house loves to talk about diversity and putting stuff on the screen and all that gloriousness. Um, I felt that they should have bit the proverbial bullet, toss the coin, do whatever the analogy is, and put them on screen. So
I know.
like I don't understand why the first Latin superhero in like full on outing is going to be on the streaming service. And I
Yes.
don't understand why Batgirl, we're talking about advancement, advancement for women. You have
And it,
a character like Batgirl, and you're just gonna put her and Blue Beetle on
and
the streaming site.
and they said the same thing about the Black Canary movie they're working on now too.
Yeah.
Which again, this is not as much as I'm excited for all three of these projects individually. I'm like Warner, DC. I don't know who I have to talk to about this. This is not a great look. This is not like you've taken you have three projects that are all starring people of like three properties that are all people of color, and you're putting them
Mhm.
all on your service. This is not
Right.
the optics of this are I need eye drops. This is not
No,
Right.
it's not. It's not good at all. The only other thing that I will throw out with that is concerned, and it ties back to Barry's Flash, is I'm wondering if maybe after whatever he does to reset or whatever, it might be that he sort of becomes the leader or forms a new team. So it's not like a Justice League, but it's a new team, and so you will get Blue Beetle, and you will get Batgirl, and you will get I don't know whoever, Supergirl, and all these people in a movie on the screen of itself. So if this is our introduction, our introductory movie to them, which I still say should be on the big screen, then maybe Barry ties it in somehow, and then they do that. But I really don't see any of them at the top thinking like that at all. So that's my problems.
Right. Just a few more to go. McGill, Harley Quinn, as in the character from one of my favorite
Yes.
shows from the DC animated universe, if you will. Harley Quinn, and one of my favorite characters as well too. King Shark was there. I told you I
Right.
got to see Cleeface, because Cleeface is like my top favorite. 'Cause he's just hilarious
Yeah.
throughout. But yeah, what I mean. Basically, what we got was just a sneak peek, right, of season 3. But much to my regret though, or much to my disappointment, sorry, it was an animatic though, and I was like, all right,
Okay.
well, no clips, nothing. We get a colored animatic basically of seeing Harley and Poison Ivy, being in really dope outfits, I must say though, and they're all hyping on the fact that yes, they're a couple now, what I mean, but they're not really seeing. That's just a little nitpick though. They're not really seeing if there's gonna be anything that's gonna challenge their relationship,
Right.
except for Kite Man, and like especially where his arc stopped. I thought was excellent in my opinion. So I'd love to see where they're gonna continue his story basically, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited because it's Harley Quinn. I really enjoyed the second season. I've been enjoying the show, thus far.
Hmm.
But I just wish that we got a little bit more as to what to expect now. I don't know if you
That
guys
final
have
shot
anything to say
though.
about Harley Quinn. Yeah, the final shot, final shot
That
with
that that
Catwoman.
that shot with the new outfits and stuff like that, I'm
That's
like,
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
yes,
that one. Mhm.
that whole thing for me was cool. Like, I mean, Kelly Cuoco as Holly was a surprise for me
Yeah,
because
she
her,
makes it work though.
yeah,
Just off of her voice alone
it
though.
because it's like Melissa had her other Big Bang co-star Melissa had done
Right,
the
which
voice
was
of
in
Holly.
one of the worst Batman movies I have ever
I
seen in
didn't
my
need
life.
the singing part of it, and
That
for
was
me, like
horrible.
Yeah.
I felt
Scarred
like
for
that
life.
one, yeah, like for me that one was like she was trying too hard to channel Tara.
Yeah.
Um, and so when Kaylee came on board, Kaylee, like you don't get that I'm trying to be another Tara Strong kind of vibe. This was just Harley. So I look forward to season three. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to see more of King Shark, and I really hope this is weird. But I really hope that they do bring like Stephanie somehow makes a comeback. Clayface as Stephanie, because Clayface as Stephanie, when they were trying to get inside the university, Stephanie had some of the most hilarious lines, and she's trying to get involved with this guy and all this kind of stuff, and Harley and Ivy had to say, listen, it's a role. You're not. That's not real. We're trying to get to Riddler's, hideout and stuff because he was inside the university. But Clayface as Stephanie for me was hilarious, and I hope to kind of see her again.
I hope to see more Batgirl though, because I felt like she could have been in the damn finale
Yeah.
and she wasn't.
Yeah.
Why? I don't understand. Anyway, so just touching quickly on Young Justice Phantoms, right?
Right.
So we got the first, well, first two episodes technically are out now on DC Fandom and HBO Max, right? I thought that it was weird that the trailer fit had the trailer guy voice, and I was like,
Right. That's all point.
this is the reason why, like, it's particularly this trailer shows why this concept is so outdated. Like, you were hearing this guy's voice, you were hearing the things he was saying, and
Yeah.
now the family must come together
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Real
secrets,
clumsy.
and it was horrible, boy.
Yeah.
But the episodes themselves were decent, though. I must say, right, without spoiling anything, right?
Mm.
Well, Ricardo, you can weigh in because I believe you saw the first episode, right? But
Yeah. I only watched
I
the
saw
first
the two of
episode.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I'll say though is that I like where the story begins, where basically you're seeing Superboy and Miss Martian. They're finally gonna tie the knot, right? So
Right.
it's basically a meet the parents scenario in the first episode, but then we're thrown right into this big political war, or I should say it's kind of it involves racism basically in on Mars, right? Basically between the white and the green Martians, right? And you really see the just that tension between those two factions, and it leads to a terrorist attack and a character who is believed dead, but then that leads to something else altogether, and that's where I'll stop, right? But
Right.
in terms of just that premise, I think is really 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 dope though. I have a feeling they're gonna tie it back to what happened in the last season though, but because I haven't seen that last season in a long while though, now I have to like recap it before I jump back into this one here. But another is just seeing the characters that you love again. I'm glad that the theme song come back, or I should say a version of that theme song come back. That was what I was missing in season three, unfortunately. Like I was like, I get you're going for dark in this one, but the theme song is what was part of why I tuned in to watch Young Justice, man, when it was on Cat Network, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I just like the progression of the characters, especially Superboy and Miss Marshall as well too. I know they're gonna bring in other characters in Young Justice as well, but it seems, especially in the second episode, that it is gonna be zeroing in on Superboy and Miss Martian and their scenario. But I know it's a lot bigger than it's just whites against greens. You know what I mean?
Right.
Martians, basically. I know it's deeper than that. But yeah, I'm satisfied with it so far. I'm satisfied thus far, man. Ricardo, just off the first episode, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was just enjoying the well that kind of what do you call it, racism slash xenophobia stuff that was going on with outsiders and who doing what and why, and I was just digging it for what it was. I didn't see the second episode to get proper context, but yeah, I was enjoying when they were on Mars, exploring Mars even more. All of that back and forth, and the politics, and the person, what is the leader? I forget the name of the leader, got assassinated. Like, oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting, and they bring in a lot
yeah.
of things. And
Oh,
yeah, I think
and how
this
we boy, I forgot to mention Carl Lumbly. I heard his voice. He
right,
was
yeah, yeah,
he was Miss Martian's dad, I believe it was.
yeah,
It's like, oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense because he's awesome. Yeah, there you go.
Right. Yeah. So I was digging a lot of that for what it is. I had to see the second episode to get a better context of what was going on, but I was really enjoying it.
Right, right, right.
Solid start to the season. Really solid
Yeah,
start.
yeah. Right. So just a few more things actually, three more things actually. Shazam, Fury of the Gods, got some great behind the scenes stuff in
Let's
it.
go.
Lucy Liu,
Yes.
Helen Mirren, villains, see
Hmm.
no more.
Hmm.
I was just like, okay, Okay. Glad to see Lucy Liu back, on big screen doing her thing though. But I am just excited to see what they're gonna bring to the table.
The goddess
I know
Calypso.
which one
I'm
is
just
Lucy is Calypso, right?
Lucy's
But
Calypso
and Helen
and Hespera
is
is
Hespera,
Dame, yeah,
right? It's
Dame
Helen,
Helen
yeah.
Mirren.
Right, and they're talking about, oh, we're bringing in, a lot of Greek mythological creatures in this, and a lot of big action
Dude,
scenes and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, all right, and I'm loving everything. But then I see
Did any
2023, I was like, oh god, like we really had to wait that long, boy.
Yeah.
But because you have like really excited that it just dropped back 2023. But I
like
mean,
did,
Shazam, the first one was excellent in my opinion. So I mean, fear the gods, bring it on. It's just we had to wait long for it, man. But anyway, y'all waiting on Shazam 2. What
oh
are
yeah.
your thoughts on the behind the scenes video?
Shazam is one of those DC films that I always chastise people for not seeing when it was in theaters, and then when they do finally see it, because home video, streaming, everything, they're like, "Oh, why didn't I see this in theaters?" And I'm like, "I know, right? Why didn't you?" But like, and I am so happy with how they have kind of like you can tell they've kind of gone full Terminator 2 to the first one with this sequel because the first film you're just dealing with one rogue, like with the one sorcerer character who's
Mm.
using deadly sins and everything. Now we are at war with two goddesses and monsters, and they're going deeper into the lore and because they keep teasing that they're exploring some of the other they're not, it's not just the cave that they're in. It's like other parts of their lair hideout. I'm not sure what they call it, and the family dynamic. All of them are heroes now, and they're all balancing that life. And I love that everyone creatively is back for the second one. Sandberg, I love that man. I love
Yeah. Yeah.
anyone else
And
subscribe
he
to
has a great YouTube channel, by the way.
Yes.
yes, he
Pony
does.
Smasher.
Yes, he does.
Pony Smasher
Yeah.
is excellent. Yeah. He
he
had a
he
video just the other day about being an introvert director.
That is what I yeah.
That really like motivated me at a point in time during this whole
oh,
quarantine slash lockdown scenario. But yeah, go on.
oh yeah. No, absolutely. Especially since and I noticed that during the video because he's in during the whole video. It's hilarious how much hype is going on. But then he is still very soft spoken, and he's kind of letting Zachary Levi and producer Peter Safran do a lot more of the talking because it's him. He's socially anxious. He's introverted, socially awkward, anxious, that kind of thing. And I love that. And I love that he's back doing this other one. And I also I geeked out because the Cyclops design reminds me of the one from the Ray Harryhausen, like the
Uh-huh.
seventh voice.
Yeah. I
That
think it's totally intentional. Totally intentional.
I'm
Yeah.
geeking
Right.
out. I'm absolutely I'm free. I saw that and I was like, holy shit, what? The nerds have the keys to the kingdom and I'm living for it. No, absolutely.
Ricardo, as a huge fan of the first film, any thoughts on this behind the scenes?
Yeah, nothing much. I mean, they didn't show any like actual clips from the show, so I wasn't too hyped. I wanted that trailer to be honest. But yeah, reasonably hyped for it, mostly because yeah, Lucy Liu, right? You can't go wrong, right? So I hyped for it. Yeah, again,
Yeah,
nothing unless it had a trailer. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I just waiting for actual trailer.
yeah. Tracy, anything?
There's two things. One, I'm loving the fact that okay, it's going to be bigger, and we get the library of the sorcerer or whatever and all that other good stuff. But there's a part of me that is a little bit worried that okay, because sequelitis, it's going to be bigger and badder and gloriouser, and that's not a real word, gloriouser. But I'm like, okay, please make sure that the story is as equal to that. So I don't want to be bombarded by glorious sets and gloriousness on the whole. And then there is a shot that I saw, not in fandom, funny enough, but that funny has me a little bit had me excited. So before fandom, like a good couple months before fandom, there was a shot that was released, a paparazzi shot of Hespera sitting down at some table, like eating junk food with Shazam. And her face,
Yeah.
Dame Helen Mirren's face, who I still say should have been Granny Goodness, um, Dame Helen
I
Mirren's face. I was like, the look on her face and the look of Shazam. I was like, yeah, this could be fun. I just really hope that the story lines up to the bigness of the sets and everything else that they have there.
All right. And a couple more things, couple. We got a great little Wonder Woman 80th anniversary tribute. Nice little interview between Patty Jenkins and Linda Carter, who apparently is having a song that's coming out next month. So
yeah what
hopefully
yeah what
we'll hear it on Spotify, and it might be dope, and it might break records like say Adele right now. Also, shout out to Adele. Adele's back, great. But it was just cool. Just it's 80 years though. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
holy shit, right? And just keep my fingers crossed. I hope that Linda just holds out just 20 more years, man. So at least she'll be there for the 100th anniversary, right? So yeah, look at that, right? And saving the best for last, way. I'll kick things off, right? The Batman, the main trailer, right? All right, so visually, this is just amazing, though. It nails that rainy Blade Runner esque. I know, like when it comes to like rainy neo noir stuff, we always think about Blade Runner, right? But it nails that aesthetic, though. It really does feel like it's Gotham, but it's like a neo noir 7-ish kind of vibe to it, though. The way how it's all set up, you know what I mean? With, it kind of reminds me, of, like, especially with Riddler and how he just kind of just waits in that diner, and the police comes to arrest him, right? It's very much like, see, you could tell that, yeah, I just want to be, it's all part of my plan, basically, right? But just touching briefly on the trailer, right? So yeah, visually this thing looks amazing, though. I thought it was pretty interesting that we used the same um Nirvana song that was used in the first film, sorry, the first trailer, but they use a piece of it here. And it's just seeing Robert Pattinson in the suit again, and he just has these great lines about Faye, and what I mean, he uses a tool, but I use it as a weapon. Just paraphrasing here. Seeing Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, that was great as well too. And you get some nice moments with them as well too, right? But for me, when the trailer really ramped up for me was when that team came in by from Michael
Giacchino.
Giacchino. Yeah,
Hmm.
my god.
I like just hearing it in the context of this trailer, dude. I love this music, right? We get some great action sequences involving Batman. It's kind of interesting that he has a bulletproof suit. So I know it has some people are gonna go on Twitter and be like, Batman doesn't wear any, bulletproof suits or whatnot. You know what I mean? And you'll all make the joke that, oh, why are you shooting him in the chest when you realize it's bulletproof, right? After the first bullet bounces off of it. Like, why not hit him in the head, right? Whatever. It's a Batman movie. Nobody cares, right? And it was just how they just build that tension in terms of the editing and the music as well, right? Colin Farrell, you know what I mean, as as Penguin, has a great moment with him, thinking that, oh, he has the upper hand on Batman. He's like, ha ha ha, driving off in top speed, right, with explosion behind him, and just that shot of the Bat car just coming out the flames, though, knocking him over, like real, like it reminded me a lot of like of Mad Max's, like the original Mad Max is like that kind of thing that he would do. He would knock somebody down and then come over and kind of watch him die or whatnot, and
Yeah.
then you just get that nice shot of him walking, and the music just builds and builds, and the volume just increases. And like every single time I watch those final moments, though, chills, Can that music just amps up in such a way, boy? So yes, they knocked out the park with this one. It is number one trending on YouTube for a reason at the time of this recording here. I loved this trailer, and even better now, we finally get a release date for this damn thing, man. Which is March the 4th, I believe it is. Yeah, March the 4th of next year. Experience it in IMAX. Yes, I will. Bring it on. I am excited for this one. So, yeah, guys, thoughts on the Batman? Like, I could talk more about it. I could do a breakdown, but no, I know we pressed for time, right? So, yeah, take it away, guys. What were your thoughts on this trailer?
I see. Herein lies my thing. I like some of the Bond themes. When you hear that theme, that Michael Giacchino theme, you have to kind of stay up. Your shoulders have to go up a little bit more, and my fingers started doing air piano. I love this. I like the idea of the bulletproof suit in terms of Batman has always been this kind of mystery. Is he a vampire? What kind of specter is he? Why is it nobody can kill him? So to the average criminal who is shooting him down, it's like this man is bulletproof. And if it is really set in Earth 2, and then he bounces up Superman later on, that could be a kind of a hilarious thing. One of the things I do love about it is that I know that they said this is also year 2. So he's still processing his rage and his vexation and stuff like that. But I have a feeling that by the end of it, Catwoman, Selina as an entity is going to sort of, I want to say, kind of calm him down a little bit in terms of how Bruce processes himself versus how Batman processes himself. And that should be kind of really interesting. The colors for this, the color palette for this,
I know, right?
it's you know what it is. Let me preface this by saying this. Both directors congratulated each other yesterday. Zach saw the trailer and said to Matt on Twitter, because it's been doing that thing, said to Matt, great job on this trailer, and he responded, he retweeted it. So fine. The directors themselves like each other, whoop-de-doo. But for me, it's like when I see how Zach desaturates a thing in order to make it dark, and then I look at how Matt uses his colors and how he is able to still make it dark as hell. And you still get the idea of there is light. Like you could see things. I am in it to win it with this. Now, that being said, I might still go in a fully 1969 green suit just to be that kind of guy when I walk in the IMAX.
Wait a minute, who are you supposed to be?
you know. But I am loving everything I am seeing thus far, and I can't wait for the album. I really can't wait for the full album.
Same here, but I need to get a hold of that soundtrack. All right, Ricardo, I know you're a tough person to wow when it comes to trailers like this, especially second trailers. So yeah, what are
Um,
your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
right. So here's the thing. I'm not as hyped as others on this. It's still it does okay. Here's what it is. It's doing the thing where I don't like the direction of it necessarily, but it looks reasonably executed well. It's doing that. Where I'm not too hyped for it, and like they have Riddler put the question mark in the coffee cup, and like,
I,
kind
I,
of.
I, I feel there'll be like a challenge to do that
And then,
because
and then
that looks like really hard to do though.
yeah, and then when Batman punched the glass, I was like, that wasn't too intimidated.
What do you do?
Yeah, I was like, I mean, they should make the glass crack or something, like just to make the feel do something there. But like, it's still looking good. Like I really like the editing. That part with the drums and the bullets and the lighting up
Yeah.
the hallway and it looking happy. And look, I'm a big fan of them apes. I was a huge fan of them apes.
Yeah. I
So
mean, Matt Reeves
Matt
killed it with
Reeves,
that trailer. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
with that
exactly. Matt
trilogy.
Reeves, look, it's Matt Reeves. That's why I hyped Matt Reeves at the helm. So
Oh
I
yeah.
really want to see what they're going to do with it, and I'm not hating on it. Not hating on it. I'm happy with a lot of what I'm seeing, especially that last shot where you see him walking upside down. And, yeah, that looking hard.
Yes.
Yeah, really fine. That looking hard, right? So I'm not hating on it, but at the same time, I'm cautious because a lot of it's still feeling a little too Nolan to my liking. It's still feeling like it not really going in an interesting direction. It feeling a little too derivative. That's my only kind of concern. But I had that attitude with the first trailer anyway, and I'm still on board. So it's not like that didn't change. So that's why I'm not really like, oh, this is bullshit now. No, I'll go and see it, right? I'll go and see a Batman movie. But I can't say I'm too hyped because they're not really doing anything all that interesting. But it's looking well executed, at least to me, right? I know some people dogging it online and things. I hear scuttlebutt against it, but like, whatever, it's fine. That's how I feel about it. I don't so much to say. This girl Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman looking great, loving all of that.
Yeah.
The Utah tradition is being kept up. Fine as colored women in cat outfits. I could live with that.
Hell yeah.
Right. So we did. Yeah, I can't be mad at any of this. I'm not mad at it, but I still not.
Yeah, it's still cautious. It's still cautious.
Yeah, I'm not fully on board. Fully on board. But a day.
Right.
I'm not sure. But well, right? You get me. So that's it.
All right, and CC, just to wrap up, DC fandom, this pretty lengthy but very fun discussion. Thoughts on the second Batman trailer?
I'm mad at myself because like you.
Oh yeah, you should have seen this live, CC. You should have been there.
Well, like I'm mad at myself mainly.
At what time was it? I think it was 4:45 or
Yeah.
4:50 in the evening. Yeah, you should have been there.
No, like for me, no, I'm more mad at myself because like you and like anyone who's been listening to this channel for a while knows how much of a Batman skeptic I am and how I am very exhausted about this property. And yet I am so hyped for this. I'm mad. I'm so bad. Like I'm like, I don't care about this character. And then Matt Reeves kind of like just swans in and is like, hey, trailer. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm invested. Like, and I know I'm not alone with that. Like, one of the things that was a little frustrating about Fandome is that like the day after I went and socialized with like other film grad students, and so I'm hanging out with like other people that are just as like jaded about that are because I'm not, but like jaded about the whole superhero craze and the general concept, whatever. And so I can't talk about Fandome, but I also know that all of these people are just as excited about the Batman as I am. Like feelings about the superhero movement aside, a lot of them are just as excited about the Batman as I am because like the hype for it and the quality of it. And I mean, and Matt Reeves, I'm just gonna say I don't think Matt Reeves has made a bad film. Like
Yeah,
not
that's the thing. The man have a good track record.
the man's track record is one
Yeah.
of the impeccable ones. Like even if you want to be like let the right one in, like even with the
Yeah, that was good. You know.
even with Let Me
Oh,
In,
let me in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great remake. Great remake. Yeah.
and the best the only counter to it that I've ever heard anyone come up with is, well, they shouldn't have made it in the first place. But even then, that's kind of like a half-hearted, weak-wristed, like because you can't watch even that film. You can't watch and actually dislike because Matt Reeves as a filmmaker is impeccable. But the music, I love how the film starts with the Nirvana song and then like switches to the main theme, and that theme chills me. Like I
I
remember
know, right?
remember when when Matt Reeves posted the costume test on his I think it was Vimeo, and it was just Pattinson in the suit in like kind of a red filter to that music, and it was before the trailer even come out, and I was like, even then I was like, whew, what is, am I excited for a Batman movie? This is a costume test. What are you talking about? No. Like
Yeah.
I wish I could be like there's a part of me that's like I wish I could be cynical and be like, oh, we're on like what the 8th or 9th live action Batman film, who cares? But I do care, and I'm so mad that I care. Like the visuals, the noir aesthetic, the fact that we're basically doing a catch the serial killer movie, but like
Right.
with Batman, and it's like really, and I've wanted to see a Batman detective story
Right. Exactly.
so
Right.
long.
Yeah.
I have wanted to see like because like the world's greatest detective, but then like you watch the movies and you're like, he's not the world's
Yeah.
he's the world's greatest guy at who punches things. Like there's not where's the detective part of it with the movies previously? But even with this, like just like this young angry Batman trying to solve this mystery with an opponent that's like one step ahead of him, and like I'm so mad at how hyped I am for this. I did not think that I would be this excited for a Batman movie. If you had told me that I would before last Fandom that I would be this excited about a Batman movie, I would have told you you were lying to me. But now I am really absolutely hyped for it, and I can't wait. And it comes out this year, right? Or is it like next year? I can't.
Next year.
Well, we wish it came out this year, but no, we have to wait until March of next year.
Okay, yeah, and I feel like that release spot, it's really going to come. I don't think anything's coming out in March next year that's going to really challenge it. I feel like if other studios are smart,
What coming out in something coming out in March 22nd? Something big, but it's slipping my mind. Is that right?
I don't know.
It's just this, right?
Might be something Marvel or something.
Okay.
Might be a Marvel.
Probably not, but for all we know, yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about this when you announced the Aquaman release date because we said Aquaman's coming out this December or next December.
Next
December?
December.
Yeah,
It's December. Yeah.
I think
No,
that's
just like the first film, it's coming out. It's coming out around Christmas time. Like no lie,
Merry
the
Christmas to me.
Christmas time release of the first film was part of
Right.
what made me enjoy it.
Here's the problem I'm a little nervous about with that. when the first Aquaman came out, it came out the first time in a long while that Disney did not have a Star Wars movie to take over December. And then they don't have one, and then Aquaman comes out from I'm sorry, Aquaman comes out from Warner Brothers. Paramount comes out with Bumblebee, and Sony comes out with Into the Spider-Verse because they're like, now we can breathe. There isn't, because Star Wars is, even the ones that we don't like Rise of Skywalker, is always a juggernaut at the box office.
Mhm.
But it's not Star Wars. They'll be putting it up against Avatar 2. So we're gonna have Aquaman 2 versus Avatar 2 at the Christmas box office next semester. Next
It's a
year.
big one.
And
Yeah.
I don't. I am curious how that's going to shake down. Really.
You know, I'm not that really. It's weird. Maybe when I see the trailer or something, but I'm really not overly hyped for Avatar 2. I mean, I will go and see it, but right now it's just passing close to my head. That's it.
For me, I feel, and I hope, and with Batman, I really think that if the studios are smart, they will keep. Other studios will keep March as clear as possible, because if the YouTube hype is anything to go off, this movie is going to steamroll anything that's against it in March next year. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
especially since it's only going to theaters, because like that's the other thing. That was one of my favorite takeaways of Fandom. Everything is theatrical exclusive instead of going to HBO Max at the same time as well.
Right.
Except for the HBO Max originals, and I'm very excited about that. But if they're smart, they'll keep March. Other studios will keep March clear or risk putting something up against this and failing. But no, I'm excited for this movie. I'm angry that I'm excited for this movie, but I'm going to be there as soon as when it comes out in March. I will be there as soon as I can see it.
Right. Yeah, so this ends our discussion of this year's fandom. So yeah, another year, another fandom. Sorry, not Warner. Oops, Marvel Studios probably like, okay, DC, okay, Warner, we see you, okay, do you think? We have shit coming up. Just don't worry. But yeah, I mean, the kind folks at DC and Warner, I mean, and HBO Max to an extent, yeah, have a lot of heat basically to bring out, for 2022 and onward, man. So yeah, I mean, can't wait to see what we get, next year with their DC Fandome.